I am Rob from iTech Pickers. We are Friday, the 14th of February. Welcome to my Coronavirus update. So let's start up with a little look at the numbers for today. Now they are at 67 and some thousands of infected people. And they say it's about 1,500, between 1,500 and 1,600 dead people. Of course, these are the numbers from the Chinese state TV. The real number is probably like about 25,000 dead. Maybe about 600,000 or 700,000 people infected, realistically. But of course, we will not be told the truth. And the funny thing is that yesterday I looked at the numbers, and they were at about 1,500 something dead. And then this morning I look again, and they've removed 102 dead people from their numbers. So I think China has figured out a way to rise people from the dead. And of course, if they can build an hospital in 10 days, then now they can rise 102 people from the dead. So that just shows you how ridiculous the numbers that they are giving to the rest of the world are. And these are the same numbers that they're giving to their population that they are keeping in ignorance. And you've got these imbeciles from so many organizations, like the World Health Organizations. They don't even ask questions. They're getting these numbers, they're posting them on their websites, and they're not even asking China, what the hell is going on? You had like 15,000 dead yesterday, and now you come this morning and you say you've got 14,000. I mean, maybe you figured out a way to cure people with coronavirus, but how did you manage to bring people back from the dead? So this is just ridiculous. We know that the numbers that they're giving to the rest of the world are completely fake. Um, and it's been going on for like a month and a half now, and they will not come out clean. They will want to keep the narrative to the very end. And maybe the very end, the way I see it is the probably at the end of the month. I would say like towards the end of March. There's gonna be like 500 million people infected in China. Uh, Maybe at some point the United States will have to go down there and assess the real situation. But right now they are refusing the CDC from going into the country to actually look and count for themselves, because of course China doesn't want the United States to know the real numbers. But maybe like in a month, when half the country is infected and they've got like 100 million people dead, uh, maybe they're going. It's going to be at that point where the United States is gonna have to get involved and go inside the country. Uh, I think there's probably gonna be at some point there's gonna be a crisis in the party in power, and it's gonna turn into civil war. And once the United States has to step in, and maybe like one day they're gonna find Xi Jinping, the president, hiding in a hole somewhere like Saddam Hussein. I don't know, but I mean, it's unbelievable. And this is why I make these podcasts every day, because I want people to be warned about what's coming. Because it's slowly spreading out of China. Of course, now we have 3 people dead. Um, it's kind of looking good though when the sick get the best medical treatment, then they do have a good chance of surviving. Um, but that now there's only about nearly about 400 cases outside of China, so it's very difficult to assess how many people are really dying from this or how many people are recovering. But it looks like consistent with the 2% number. But that's with the best medical care. We also know that 15 to 20% of people are going to require emergency treatment if they have this disease. And I would think that China, from what I've heard, the health system is really bad, especially for people who don't have the money to pay for it. So this is why they've had probably so many people dying from this. And there's something that I want to talk about it just to be fair, because I've heard this from many sources, is that it seems that in China, 60% of the population is smoking. It seems like China is one of those countries where they don't have any anti-smoking laws, and more than half of the people are smoking, just like it was the case here in the 70s and the 80s, before we started making laws about this. And it seems that that could affect just how sick you get with the coronavirus. If you are a heavy smoker, and you are much more likely to have severe pneumonia and possibly die from it than if you're a non-smoker. So that these things, we're gonna find out about these things by investigating the sick people outside of China, because obviously in China, so far they have not been collaborating with the rest of the world. They classify everything. They don't give information to the other countries so that we can get prepared. And of course, the World Health Organization is completely corrupt. I think you have seen the Tedros, the boss of the World Health Organization, Mr. Tedros. I can't even pronounce his name, so that I'll call him Tedros just like everybody else does. And this guy, of course, he's got so many skeletons in his closet. He was part of a government in his country, which has been labeled a terrorist organization, which is the Tigray Revolutionary Front. And of course, he's been of no good to his country as a health minister, because Ethiopia is still a shithole country. So he didn't make anything good in that country. So he pretty much doesn't have any good accomplishments. And many people, they're wondering why he is the head of the World Health Organization in the first place. And of course, this guy was also the Foreign Affairs minister of Ethiopia in between 2012 and 2016. And during that time, they have received millions upon millions, possibly billions of dollars from China. There was this contract for a highway of about something like 330 million, and hundreds of millions for a stadium and stuff like this. So this guy, you shouldn't be surprised to see him. He's working for the Chinese, and of these billions of dollars that came to Ethiopia from China during his time as the foreign affairs minister, you can speculate just how many millions of that money did he put in his pockets, So it's obvious that this guy can't be trusted. I was surprised he was back this morning at the World Health Organization conference. I thought they had sacked him. There's actually a petition online now to ask the organization to get rid of him. I don't know, but anyway, I don't think this organization can really be trusted. Uh, I wouldn't. So I mean, this situation there is not about to stop. Uh, like I've predicted, you are going by next week. It's likely the Chinese numbers are going to be above 100,000 people infected, and there's no end in sight for this. Um, and you know, this disease, it's it's actually a good positive thing that it's the case mortality rate isn't as high as we have thought previously. But the R naught, the rate of transmission, there's I've seen some new information today that the rate of transmission could be like as high as 7, which is extremely high. So I mean, it's we gotta be prepared for that, because when it starts hitting here, uh, you know, because even if people only have a 2% case mortality rate, it's still a long disease that can you can be sick for like up to 2 months with that thing, because you have the incubation period where you are spreading the disease, which can be like for up to however like 24 days. And then you can be sick with symptoms for about a month. So I mean, there's going to be like a huge economic cost to this. Um, and I mean, I can think of all the problems that are going to arise, like you know, the quarantines, and there's going to be violence because the infected are going to be seen as you know, there are going to be seen as aggressors, and the people who are not infected are going to maybe try to violently like repress them. And we see a lot of these acts of violence now in China. Of course, videos coming from citizen journalists and bloggers and YouTubers. Of course, we don't see them on the state media, because the state media keeps putting up these staged TV shows where they, you know, everything is gonna be okay, and the doctors are smiling and all this. But I've seen a pretty good amount of videos of like people getting the crap beaten out of them by the police, getting beaten up by gangs of vigilantes. You know, like looking for people. In some provinces, they're giving a bounty. They have bounties on the head of people who might have come from Wuhan. So you know, they're saying, you know, if you know a family or people that fled Wuhan, just tell us where they are, and we'll give you like $100. So you know, where is that gonna go? I think this country's on the brink of civil war, and with no food. You know, the people of Wuhan have been like quarantined for like more than 2 weeks. Where do they get their food? Where do they get their money? Man, if you can't go out of your house to 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 buy food, if you can't go out to make money, how are you gonna survive? You know, I've heard reports of people that have jumped out of their windows because the front door to their building has been welded shut, or I mean, it's unbelievable. And of course, we don't, we're supposed to believe, we're supposed to believe things that are being told to us by by these news agencies, or these agencies like the World Health Organization. And I mean, we know that the real situation on the ground in Wuhan, we're not getting the like any feedback from the real people there, because when they do, well, they get arrested. When citizen journalists take videos with their cell phones, and they kind of smuggle it out of China, the police, they find them, they recognize them on the video, they find out where they live, and they go there to arrest them. And just today, I have seen one other video of a bunch of police that went inside a home to arrest a guy that had been posting on the internet about what's going on in Wuhan. So I mean, it's pretty disgusting. So look, I'm gonna keep you guys informed. I'm gonna come back tomorrow night for another update. I wish I could say I hope things get better, but really, they're not gonna get better for a while. It's just gonna get worse. So I think I'd rather hope that people like prepare themselves and try to find out the truth, because so much is being hidden from you right now. And of course, prepare yourself, because as I've said in every other podcast, your politicians, they won't save you. Here in Canada, we have like probably the worst prime minister we've ever had in the history of the country. He's a left-wing loser. I mean, this guy, when the virus attacks Canada, he's gonna go inside his private jet and he's just gonna leave, and he's gonna tell you to eat dirt. So you should definitely prepare yourself, and prepare yourself no matter where you are in the world. It's up to you to save yourself. So please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you did like this video. You can hit the dislike button if you dislike what I say. So I will see you tomorrow.